Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. I got Max here. We're rolling as a duo today. Dave and Edward. So many social engagements, so little time.
Such a life.
Yeah. Stoke preview. I'll rattle off stuff the way I always do.
Yep.
They currently sit 19th with 27 points. They're 10 spots away from us, and they're 10 points below. You know what I mean? So the table is so weird this year.
Yeah.
Recently, their form looks like this. They lost 2-0 to City, drew with Southampton 0-0, and drew with Leicester 1-1. All right. They've been playing a lot of defensive football, where they're really trying to keep clean sheets and trying to get points because they're in a relegation scrap. And I would say this game probably means more to them than it does to us, which is interesting. And it may have just changed my prediction. So,
Of course.
so injuries. Apparently, Lambert said that Juve has an outside chance of being fit. I don't think it'll happen, but it's an outside chance. Wimmer has a 75% chance to play. Berahino is going to be back, I think. I think that's what I recently saw. And Shaqiri might not be in. I think he hasn't trained since their game on Monday. So yeah, there's that.
It's good for us.
Yes, it is, especially since hasn't he scored on us?
Yeah,
recently?
yeah. Oh, he scored I think it was Martinez's last season. He got an absolute wonder goal at the Goddard Street end.
I remember that. I remember just getting annoyed. Before I was like, Shaqiri's okay, and then when I saw him posing with his arms crossed, staring out into the crowd.
I've got a healthy amount of respect for him, to be honest. I still think the move that he made to Stoke is quite baffling. Of course, because at one point in his career, I think he had the tag that everywhere he's gone, he's won a season, he's won the title of whatever league he's been playing in each season. I think, of course, it was Bâle, and then it was Bayern. So he kind of gathered a healthy collection of league titles with the clubs he was at, and of course, he tried to prove his point coming to England. Probably picked the wrong club. But same with Jesse Rodriguez, I feel, as well.
Well, I was under the impression, this was Martinez years when Shaqiri was thinking about coming, and I was under the impression that they offered more money. And it seemed definite that he was going to start. Now, I think he would have started for us too, but I was under the impression that they flat out offered more money, and that's why I went.
Yeah.
And it had very little to do with anything else. And this was before we were, bathing in pools of cash with Moshiri.
Yeah, I think they definitely did offer him a bigger wedge than what we were offering at the time. But still, I remember reading, because I think that caused quite a few waves, particularly on Twitter, seeing that move, because he was always a player that was held in quite high esteem and that he'd push on and be a world beater. But I remember reading, because of course it was something that I was automatically interested in, thinking why, what's his decision making behind that? And of course, they're never going to say cash, are they? But I genuinely do feel there was some, internal motivation that he wanted to prove himself, and become a one-man team in that sense. But it just hasn't been the case.
Yeah, I would actually have respected him for staying so far. You know what I mean? Like it seems like he could have had opportunities to kind of throw one of those player tantrums and just, not show up for training and say, no, I want to leave. But he stayed. And I'm wondering if it's so that he can just have a solid season and move up to one of the top programs.
Yeah, I'm not too in the know with Stoke's financial situation or anything like that, but they did they brought in quite a few players. They brought in Joe Allen, they brought in S.A. Rodriguez, like I mentioned before. They brought in Saido Berahino as well, who hasn't scored in 2 years. And we all know what's going to happen, don't we? We know the script on that one.
Yeah. As soon as I saw Toffee Blue's account tweet about that, I was like, oh, no. Because everybody called the same thing against Burnley, too.
Mm.
You know, Burnley
I
hadn't
know.
won for a while, and then here we come. You
Yeah,
know,
Chris Wood comes back from injury as well and scores.
yeah.
We're just one of those clubs. We're cursed. We're absolutely cursed.
Possible lineup that we could be facing. Butland's going to start, and we can only hope he decides to bat one in the net the way he did the other week. That'd be great. If on a cross he just decides, get in the goal, you know? That'd be nice. I don't think we can count on that because he is a sound keeper for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the two competing for the number one spot for England at the World Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, it's what it seems like. I know Pope's been given a call up as
Pope,
well.
Pope, excellent.
Who's had a good season. But I think, I don't know. I have a feeling that he's going to go with Butland dependent on how the players play over the next month or two, you know, in friendlies and stuff. So Butland, Bauer, Zuma, Martin Zindi, who I feel like we were connected with like 8 times.
Yeah.
Staffelidis, Jeff Cameron possibly.
USA.
Yeah.
USA.
Yes. Where are you playing at this summer, Jeff?
No World Cup.
Sadness. Yeah, I feel like I mention this every time we record.
Every time.
It just hurts, Max. It hurts. So the real question is who's going to come in for Shaqiri. I'm actually not completely sure about that. I know they'll probably roll with Njai and Joe Allen in the center, Choupo-Moting. Maybe out wide, but maybe at the top, not sure. And it depends on what they want to do with, is it Hesse?
Yeah.
Hesse? Yeah. It's funny, I'm like, is it Yessi? Or, you know? But I think it depends on which version of Spanish you're speaking. But, and also they could go with Crouch up top.
Exactly. And we you know, it's same old story when he comes off the bench, isn't it? Really, you know exactly what approach they're going to take. They're gonna rewind the clock and they're gonna launch them long balls in. And again, you're not full of confidence with this Everton defence, are you? No matter who it is at the back, of course. Jagielka coming back in against Brighton we were a lot stronger with him alongside Keane. But you know, especially with how dull and grim this season's been, you're never fully sure of yourself if we're going to deal with any threat.
I'm curious if he's going to roll. I don't think he will because I don't think he does this as often as other squads. But I'm curious as if he would roll with a Hesse and Crouch up top and go 2 up front because we've been so weak against that. 2 out of the past 3 games. Just the idea of them just lumping it up to them. Because we just didn't deal well with that. You know, last week we did okay with them having 2 up front. But yeah, I don't know. I am curious.
Like you said earlier, this is a huge game for them, and we can't underestimate that by any means. I mean, I think Mark Hughes got sacked after that result against Coventry in the FA Cup. Lambert come in, and he did get 1 win against Huddersfield, if I'm not mistaken. But since then, I think it's just been stalemate after stalemate after stalemate, and again, it's been getting dull and drab for them. So there's always that air of caution towards these games, because again, I've always kind of had. I mean, I know I've not really been confident in Everton this season at all, but I've always kind of had the assurance that I've never thought that at any point we look like we're going to go down. Of course,
yeah.
Those last few games under Koeman, we did look abysmal.
But it was definitely the gloom, the melancholy was.
Yeah.
I think we all had that at that time.
I think you know the expectations got absolutely shattered with the reality, and of course when it's deluded the wrong possibly, you know, I'll probably admit myself I was a bit deluded at what was to happen this season, you know, and we've just been hit with mediocrity. But that's not to say that this won't be figured out with the introduction of the right manager, because you know there's clearly money to burn, and you know we have got some good individuals there. It's just a matter of getting the best out of the individuals in a functioning team, and being able to defend as a unit, really.
Yeah, you bring up those stalemates. They have been setting themselves up to not lose often. I look at this squad though that they could be rolling with, and I just don't see that as a necessarily highly defensive unit. I don't know why. I
No,
just don't. It just
I know.
doesn't read that way to me. I don't know. It just doesn't. To me, it doesn't look like a typical Stoke squad.
No, of course. I think they've took a great identity shift, particularly. I think particularly since Tony Pulis left, I feel like it's kind of been a gradual change since then.
Yeah.
And of course, with the introduction of players like we've mentioned, Jesse Rodriguez, Shaqiri, really players that shatter the rugby nature, the kind, because that's what it was. Kind of, it was kind of, they always had this rugby team nature about them, and Ryan Shawcross would be the prime example of the Stoke player for you. It'd just be like dogfights every game. But I think they've made a conscious effort to change that image, and as of this season, it's not gone well for them. But they've had some fairly good finishes in the Premier League. They haven't been relegated since they come up. But yeah, this season has been really challenging for them.
Yeah, just kind of that they were kind of stuck between two potential styles, and then they're kind of left in this no man's land. Which, to be fair, I think we were kind of there at the beginning of the season as well, where we had certain kinds of players with a manager who wanted to play a certain kind of system, but we really didn't even have all the players we needed to play that system.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
So we know the pain, Stoke.
We do.
So potential lineup. What are you thinking? Because my potential lineup is that I think Allardyce is going to do. I'm actually okay if we start with the same one, which is odd.
Yeah, in my opinion, obviously, I think people would prefer if we went for the same team that we did against Brighton, with just a matter of swapping Gylfi Sigurdsson for Klassen. And hear me out on this, of course I want to see Klassen play, and I want to see Klassen fulfil his potential. But obviously, not playing football, not playing a Premier League match for so long.
Yeah. I
really feel like starting him and relying on him. I think that would be dropping him in at the deep end a bit too much. So I'd feel a lot more comfortable if we reverted back to that 4-3-3. Of course, Gay's fit again. Yeah. I'd go for the same back line. Gay's fit again, and I'd just obviously taken Sigurdsson out, who'd be on the left. I'd put Yannick Bolasie in on there, particularly with how we played against Brighton. I see the little smirk. Have we pulled off something similar?
No, keep talking, Max. Do you think that's what Sam's going to do too?
Is it what I think Sam's going to do? Probably, because I feel like we know management haven't been as keen on Davy Klassen as the fans have been. Yeah. So to be honest, it sounds quite weird in saying this. I really do think what I want to happen is quite in line with what I think Sam would do. But
okay,
we'll wait and see.
Yes, Max. I have written down verbatim the exact same players and the exact same lineup that I think Sam will do, and that I actually want him to start. I totally agree with you. And if we keep doing this is just going to get so stale. Because it's like eventually our minds are converging and having all the same opinions.
At one point they're gonna think it's scripted, aren't we? And we're just gonna have to throw random under 23s players in there just to make them happy, differ the content up a little bit. But
why not? Let's get Feeney has made miraculous recovery from his knee surgeries, and he's gonna play. Oh man, yeah. But, literally all the same stuff. I normally would. I haven't been a Bolasie guy for a while, but you know what? He played well.
Me neither. But and like I said, I made a note of that when we were talking about the Brighton game, that he seemed to grow into the game rather than start strongly then fizzle out. It was encouraging. It was really encouraging, which hasn't been the case with him since he's come back from injury. He's been frustrating rather than encouraging, and that Brighton performance I think was a step in the right direction for him, and fingers crossed it's a step in the right direction for the entire team.
Plus the thing about Bolasie, if we are encountering not great weather elements in Stoke, which I just always associate Stoke with wind and cold and possible rain.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some people, I can't call him a finesse player because although he's got these, foot skills, he is a powerful guy when he's fit. So him playing in a place like that, I think it's actually a decent start.
I agree completely with what you said there, because he can be heavy-footed, can't he? At times you do see him move the ball about quite well, but he's not 24/7 twinkle toes, is he? He does prefer the knock it further in front of you, and then because usually he's had the pace to chase it down and win it. And there was hints of that coming back against Brighton. As I said, it was encouraging, and I think he does deserve to start.
Yeah. And I mean, and I do think if you're missing a big player, a big important player like Sigurdsson, I don't think you can plug in a player who hasn't had a lot of experience, like Klaassen, immediately. I think you're totally right. Trying to depend on him immediately right now is a big ask. Having said that, I'd like to start incorporating him more, get him some time. Yeah, later on in the game, like the 75-minute mark. Bring him in for Davies. Bring him in for Rooney. Who needs a break? Who needs a breather? Let's bring him in.
But of course, something that we've brought up quite a lot this season is that, even though, I think as Evertonians, we tend to forget it, because Rooney, when he does play, I mean, we've criticised Rooney quite a bit this season, but that being said, when he's played well, he's very close to being the best player on the pitch with his vision. And with the ground that he covers and his defensive the defensive burden that he carries, but who's to say that this is a game where we rest Rooney and put Klaassen in to fill that role. Of course, I don't think it's the role that we'd expect him to play, because we kind of expect him to play the 1-2 touch, get the ball beyond the back line, find the spaces, feed Tosin. But again, it's how we choose to manage Klaassen now. If we are going to integrate him in the team, it's knowing his right role and making sure we get the best out of him.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the way to set up. To be honest, I think he can contribute this season. Yeah, and I totally hear all the people that are asking for him to play. I want him to play too. I just think let's gradually bring him in. Let's massage him into the squad. All right. What's your prediction? What are you thinking?
Keep the good form going. I'm going to go for the 2-1 Everton win.
Before I started all of this, initially I was like, you know what, we're going to lose 1-0. Then I started thinking about it.
Yeah, I think I've just said that with complete arrogance to our away record there.
That was my problem, is because our away record is so bad recently. But I look at their lineup, and I look at our lineup, and I look at the fact that Baines and Coleman are back. I trust them, and so I think we'll manage to squeeze one in, and I think our defense will be sound. I don't know. Yeah. It's just I think we'll win 1-0.
Yeah, it needs to be one of these games where we show the golfing quality. I think it's particularly after that Brighton game where although Pickford was tested a few times, there was a clear quality gap between us and Brighton. And again, I know it's away, but like Halliday has said so many times, which is true. The away record has just been abysmal and nowhere near as good as what we need it to be if we want to reach that next level.
We're saying all that with the fact that we're away and Stoke is in a relegation battle and they're going to be scrapping and clawing.
Exactly.
Yeah. If we're up for it, that would be great. But if in the first 5 minutes, if they're completely out hustling us to every ball.
Yeah, we can't take it lightly by any means.
Right. All right. Well, let's. I think we've got this one covered. So that's been our Stoke preview. If you're liking our videos, please subscribe. We are this close to 550. Slowly making our way up to 600. And thanks for that. Leave a like, leave a comment. How do you think the Stoke game's going to go? Check out Max's stuff. He's got a lot of analysis on the Toffee Blues website. All right. What's your most recent stuff, Max?
The most recent article I wrote was after the Watford game, when Tom Davies made his 50th Premier League appearance. I just wrote a little piece on how, you know, his attitude and, you know, the path that he's took, particularly coming through the academy. How, you know, of course, because I feel like you'll back me up on this. You know, even games where we haven't played well, he's been when he's played, he's been the bright spark. He's been the one person that we've come away from the game with a positive about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've kind of thought how that mentality that he has and that willingness that he shows when he plays, that, you know, the big money signings, so to say, haven't shown, and, you know, how the academy continues to do us proud.
Yeah, I mean, you know, not every touch of his is golden, but he's always got the attitude straight. He's always got the effort is always there. And he usually shines in a more offensive situation rather than defensive, which is we've talked about before. So if you're one of those people who's thinking, trying to decide between Clausen or Davies, read Max's article on Davies. It's good stuff. All right, Max, thanks a lot, man. We gotta go do more video. So yeah.
We do.
All right. Bye.